Hello, friends. Welcome. Today we're going to be working with blocks. If you don't have blocks, you could use tall books, anything that you can use under your hands for balancing, or as we get into some of the deeper hip openers, you'll want to have blocks close by. And we're going to start on the back. You can either have your legs straight out, or maybe the knees can be bent with the knees touching, or having something like a pillow or a blanket under the knees can be nice. And finally, bringing the soles of the feet together with the knees open can be a great place to relax too. Hands are going to come to the lower belly. So we're just going to take a couple breaths to relax the neck, the shoulders, and invite the belly to relax. So your breath can move all the way down to where your hands are. And just keep breathing into your hands as I'm talking. So something very interesting about our hearts and how they develop when we're in the womb. The heart is actually above the head, and then it curls in, and the chest or the ribs encase the heart. And as we start to grow the umbilical cord, we're fed blood through these two arteries, and they actually become the psoas when we're born. So when we're tight in our psoas, which is the muscle that connects the base of the rib cage with the inside of the thighs, and it keeps us from just folding in half and collapsing. But it also stores a lot of our emotional trauma. So just let your breath wash through that area from the lower ribs into the pelvis, into the inner thighs. Be present to whatever's there. If you're feeling some emotion come up, that's fine. And just notice if any collapsing in the heart can release as well. I often like to think about Hanuman when I think about the heart. Hanuman, the god of the monkeys, the monkey god, whose father was the wind, was utterly devoted to Ram and Sita. But he didn't recognize his own divinity until it came into service to Ram and Sita. So know that you have that within you. This divine spark just waiting for that moment to express itself. And take a breath in, let the arms come overhead and straighten the legs out. Point the toes and reach through the fingers. Take a deep breath in, feel your ribs open in your back, like you want to touch the floor with your back. And exhale. Let the feet come to the mat, about hip distance apart, parallel to each other. You can keep the arms overhead or bring them next to the hips if you need a little bit more stability. And take a breath in, feel it move from your belly up into your chest. And then as you exhale, press the back of your head into the floor, flatten the lower back, and let the spine start to peel off the floor. And hold at the top. Take a breath in. Push the heels into the mat and apart. Feel that lift you just a little more. And exhale, slowly coming on down. Roll to the side. And let your hands help you come up. And we'll come onto hands and knees. So the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And as you breathe in, gazing outward, feel the shoulders come out of the ears. Exhale, round the spine. Push the sit bones under and forward towards your armpits. Armpits press back towards your sit bones. Breathing in and opening, lengthening the spine. Exhale, sit bones tuck under. Armpits press back towards the legs. Tuck the chin towards your throat. And then expanding out with the breath in. We'll curl the toes under. Gently come into down dog. And you can take a moment to walk in place. Stretch out the back of the legs, bottoms of the feet by spreading your toes and looking at your navel. We'll slowly walk feet to hands. And just let the knees bend a little bit, let the head release. Let the sit bones drop down and forward to roll you up to standing. And we'll bring the feet together. So the big toes are together, heels are a little bit apart. Feel the sit bones drop down and hug the inner thighs together. Arms come forward and up. Maybe fingertips or palms come together. Feel the spine lengthen, sit bones dropping down. Exhale, folding forward. Let the hands come next to the feet. Shift onto your right foot. Lift the left leg. Giant step back. Let the hips drop and the heart lift. Then exhale, drop the head, tucking the chin towards your throat, and then feeling to straightening the right knee. Bend that knee, lift the heart, tuck the chin on the exhale, and then feeling to straightening the leg. Bending the front knee and lift the heart. Exhale, tuck chin, let the hips lift. Then we'll bend the right knee, let the hands come to the floor, and step back, right foot meeting left. Come to the knees, let the sit bones tuck under and forward, shifting you forward to lower all the way to the mat. And we'll press the tops of the feet into the floor, press the pubic bone into the floor, and breathe in. Just let the breath lift the chest and the shoulders. Throat comes forward, chin lifts. Keeping the elbows close to the body, exhale, push back to hands and knees. Curl the toes under, coming into your downward facing dog. Just walk the feet forward. Big toes together, heels apart. Bend the knees a little bit. Feel the sit bones drop down and under. Reach the arms forward and come all the way up. Either fingertips or palms together. Feeling the ribs opening as you breathe in. Sit bones dropping down as you breathe out. You can bring the throat forward and chin lifts so you can look at the thumbs. Exhale, folding. Hands next to the heels. Lift the right leg. Big step back. Hips drop. Heart lifts as you breathe in. Chin tuck. Straightening the front leg as you breathe out. Bend the left knee. Hips drop. Heart lifts. Tuck chin. Folding, straightening the front leg. And bending the front knee, heart lifts. And one more time, chin tucks, straightening the front leg. And bending that knee, planting the hands. Maybe you step back to a plank this time. Roll the sit bones under, shifting forward, elbows close in. Come to the belly. Roll the shoulders back and down, press into the feet, the pubic bone. Maybe stay in cobra or press into the hands, straighten the arms, and lift the knees for upward facing dog. Hips lift, exhaling, coming into downward facing dog. Heels sinking, head bowing to the navel. Sit bones hugging towards the armpits, armpits pressing back towards the sit bones. Walking the feet to the hands. Big toes touch. Drop the sit bones, reach forward and up. Rising to standing. And we'll let the arms come down. Bend the knees. Sit bones drop down, coming into chair pose. As the arms come forward and up, press the armpits forward and a little bit up. Throat comes forward, chin lifts. Relax the face. Folding with the exhale, you can release the head. Now we'll lift into a flat back. Hands might come to the shins or fingertips might stay to the floor. Planting the hands, stepping back to a plank or to the knees. Sit bones tucking under to lower. Inhale, lifting to your back bend. If you're an up dog, make sure the knees and thighs are lifted. Sit bones press forward, heart opens. Relax the face and the tongue. Coming into your downward facing dog. Feel the heels sinking towards the earth. Armpits and sit bones hugging towards each other. Looking at the navel. Let the right leg come up. Bring the knee towards your nose, stepping forward. Left heel comes down. We're coming into warrior one. So each foot's on its own track. Left toes facing the upper left corner of the mat. Bend the right knee and come up. Maybe the hands come together. If they do, press the armpits forward. Lift a little bit with the armpits. Sink into that front knee. Push the back heel into the mat. Then throat comes forward, chin lifts. Hands frame the right foot. Stepping back to meet your left. Sit bones tuck under as you shift forward. Lowering towards the mat. Maybe staying cobra. Or maybe come into that upward facing dog. And come back to down dog. Heels sinking, sit bones, armpits hugging towards each other. Left leg comes up. Bringing the knee to the nose. Stepping forward. Right heel coming down. Again, each foot on its own track. And pushing them out apart with your feet. Sink into the left knee. And as you come up, feel that left thigh roll out, right thigh roll in. And if the hands come together, press the armpits forward, throat forward, chin lifts, relax your face. Hands frame the left foot, stepping back. Left foot meets right, sit bones tuck under, shifting forward to lower. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale to downward facing. Feeling the heels sink towards the earth, armpits hug together and towards the hips, letting the breath empty. Feet come to your hands, you can step or float. Big toes touch, sit bones drop down as you bend the knees. Arms come forward and up. Armpits come forward and up. Throat comes forward, chin lifts. See if you can sink just a little deeper. And taking the fold, exhale, head releases. Inhale, flat back. And you can move through your vinyasa. Maybe take a float back or just step back, shifting forward to lower. Breath into your back bend. And breath out to downward facing dog. Heels connecting to the earth. Armpits and sit bones pressing towards each other. And the neck just released. Feel your belly relax. Feel your breath flowing through your whole being. The head bowing to the heart. And we'll take the right leg up and back. Bend that knee and just lift the knee towards the ceiling, starting to stack it over the left hip. But make sure the left hip doesn't start to turn. You want to keep that foot parallel to the side of the mat. Then you can look at your navel. If you're feeling a little unsteady in your shoulders, let your weight shift forward a little bit towards your hands. Drop the right shoulder. Then spread the right toes. Let that leg stretch back. Draw the knee towards your nose. Try to resist swinging the leg forward. Pull the knee and the nose towards each other. Shift your weight towards your hands. Then extend the leg back. Spread the toes. Knee comes towards the nose. Feel yourself coil in and then shift forward. Gently drawing back. Take your time here. Breathe. Reaching back. Left heel sinks. Head bows. Weight over your fingers. Knee to nose. Take your time. Resist the urge to swing. Keep pulling up through the navel. Now let the foot come all the way forward. We're going to come to a high lunge. So you might need to step in a little bit with the back foot. Drop the sit bones down and under. Stay relaxed in the shoulders to come all the way up. Bending the front knee. Let the sit bones tuck under a little bit. Press the armpits forward. And just breathe here. See if you can relax. Notice where you're starting to stress out. And if it's around the heart, if you find yourself kind of collapsing there, I invite you to take a deep breath in through the nose. And then stick out the tongue and make a sound. Ah. Just let that out. I'm going to drop the hands. You can bring the back heel down if you're quavering, but if you can, keep that heel lifted and reach the right hand back. Feel that right sit bone press forward, still bending that knee. And if your hips are swinging over to the right, back off the twist a little bit so you can keep your hips forward. Breathe. We'll bring the hands together. Palms together at the heart. Feel your weight shift to your right foot. Come on your left big toe. Roll the left thigh in. And then let that heel come down. Pushing the mat apart with your feet. And we'll stay rooted on the inside of the right foot. The hands can come to your lower back. You might just rest your hands there just as a reminder to keep your tailbone tucked down a little bit as you come forward. Or you can work on opening the shoulders a little more by interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms together, reaching the knuckles down. But keep dropping the sit bones down and under. Unlock the right knee and let yourself begin to fold. Rather than think, I've got to touch my chin or my nose to the knee, think you want to bring your forehead or the crown of your head towards the knee. Then maybe the nose will land there. Keep pushing the mat apart with the feet. Lift the shoulders out of the ears. And then feel into straightening the knee, just listening to your hamstring and the piriformis and the IT band, the outer thigh. You might be feeling a lot of stress there, so it's fine to bend the knee. And we'll release the hand. If you're not able to touch the floor with your fingertips, you can use blocks under the hands and just drop the head. If you're comfortable and the palms are flat, the front knee is straight, you can work a little deeper by turning your fingers back. But keep dropping the sit bones. Resist the urge to start to come into a back bend by pointing your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Keep dropping them down towards the floor. Beautiful. Walk the hands forward and just step feet together, top of the mat. Bring the big toes to touch, heels apart, bend the knees, and just let yourself hug yourself. Relax the jaw. Feel your weight shift towards your toes slightly. And feel your heart relaxing against your thighs. Feel the front of your hips relax. And bend the knees, drop the sit bones. Take your time coming up because you might feel a little dizzy from that forward bending. Coming into your chair pose. Take your time bringing your arms up, especially if you have high blood pressure. You can press the arms forward and lift the heart. Sit bones drop down, ribs hug together. Taking the forward fold, release the head. Come into your flat back, either hands on the shins or fingertips to the mat. Lift through the heart. Hands come to the mat. You maybe take the step back or float back. Elbows close in, shifting forward to lower. Coming either to cobra or upward facing dog. And pressing back either to the knees or into a plank. And then into downward facing dog. Heels sinking towards the mat. Releasing the neck. Sit bones and armpits pressing towards each other. And we'll take the left leg up and back. Spread the toes. Bend that knee. Feel the knee lift towards the ceiling, but drop the shoulder towards the mat. Look at your belly button. And as the left knee comes over the right hip, let that right foot stay turning parallel to the side of the mat. Look at your belly button. Let the right heel come down a little bit. Shifting your weight towards your fingers a little bit. Armpits pressed down towards the mat. And extending the left leg. Roll that thigh in. Bring the knee towards your nose. Then shift your weight towards your hands. Shifting back. Right heel sinks. Left leg lifts. Spread the toes. Knee towards your nose. Pulling in, shifting your weight forward. Shifting back. If you're getting really fatigued, you can do this on your knee too. Reaching back, the knee to nose. Pull up through the belly to land that foot through. Coming to our lunge, you may need to shorten the stance a little bit. Sit bones drop down and under. Take your time coming up. If it helps you with the transition, you can just bring the palms together at the heart. Same is true if you're feeling a little lightheaded or your heart rate's really high right now. You just bring the hands together at the heart or reach the arms up. Sit bones drop down and under. Armpits press forward and up. Relax your face. Bend the front knee a little more. Breathe. Just presence, whatever intensity you're feeling, that helps to express it. Breathe in through the nose. Stick out the tongue. Let it out. And hands come down. Opening the left arm. So just notice the swing in the hips if that comes. Then back off with pulling the left arm back. So you can keep dropping left hip down and sit bone under. But if you're able to reach back, you feel comfortable, you want to challenge your balance, you can start to look back towards the left hand. Take your time with that. Release any tension in that shoulder. Left sit bone down and under. And bringing left hand to right. Shifting the weight to the left foot. Come on to the right big toe. Roll that thigh in. And then let that heel come down. So you want your feet about 2.5, 3 feet apart. Push the mat apart with your feet. So left foot is pushing the mat forward, right heel is pushing the mat back. And then the hands can come to the lower back to help the sit bones drop down and under. You can stay there or take that interlace of the fingers, reach the knuckles down and back. Sit bones drop under. Keep pushing the mat apart with your feet, keeping your hips relatively square to the front of the mat. Then let the left knee bend, tuck chin towards your throat, feeling the flexion of the spine. So if you feel you're suddenly coming into a back arch and the sit bones are starting to point back, just drop them down and under a little bit. And that will protect your sciatic nerve. Also help you find more flexion in the spine, some more space. Tuck the chin towards your throat. Feel the shoulders come out of the ears. Keep pressing the mat apart with the feet. And feeling to straightening the left knee if it's accessible. And let the hands release. Use blocks if you need that. If you're able to bring the palms flat, you can push your hands into the mat, but keep dropping the sit bones down and under and pushing the mat apart with your feet. Staying active through the legs. It's where all your power comes from, that connection to the earth. Breathing. And then gently lifting the heart, come onto the tips of the fingers. We'll step feet together, top of the mat. Go a little bit wider in your stance. Bend the knees and let yourself hang. So maybe you hold the elbows. Maybe you bring the palms flat to the floor and just start snuggling your shoulders behind your thighs. And if you have that, you can bring the hands on the outsides of the feet and wiggle the feet in a little bit. Maybe the shoulders snuggle a little bit more behind the knees. And look up at the navel, drop the sit bone. Feel free to hang out there. Next up, if you choose to go there, is to bring the feet a little closer together. Shoulders can snuggle back a little more. So really listen to your body here. If the lower back has any complaint, then lower back is boss. Okay, we're going to turn the fingers forward, bring the palms down, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulders with your knees, and start scooting your feet in towards each other. Keep squeezing the arms with your legs and grip the floor with your fingertips. And the feet might come up, might be able to hook your ankles. Breathe here, keep squeezing the shoulders. Breathe. Relax. And we'll bring the feet down. And then come wide. And then sit into a squat. Let the elbows push the knees open, sit bones drop, heart lifts. So just feel that connection, that stress you might be feeling in your psoas. See if it's causing collapse around the heart, particularly around the physical heart on the left side. Just see if you can breathe into it. Do that lion's breath if you need it. Breathe in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. You can also do a that will bring in the energy of the solar plexus to help melt that tension. One more time. Deep breath in. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the hands to the mat. Step back to plank or to the knees. Sit bones tuck under and forward. Shoulders shift just in front of the fingers. Grip the floor with your fingers a little bit. Breathe. Push the floor away with your chest muscles. And then we'll come all the way to the belly. Coming into a prostration, we'll bring the arms to the floor above the head. And if you're able to bring your palms together, great. Press the armpits down towards your mat and back towards your thighs. Press the toes in the mat. Press your pubic bone into the mat. Feel that lengthen the lower back. So we're going to breathe right into where the psoas, it said, begins, which is, if you feel where your floating ribs are in your back, and you bring your thumbs in towards the spine, and you can sort of feel these muscles kind of hyperactive, or at least in me, they're a little hyperactive. But right where you feel that tension in the bottom of the ribs, that's where the psoas originates. And then it comes down, moves in front of the pelvic bone, moves down into the pelvic base, and then attaches into the inner thighs. So if you can breathe into the lower ribs and the lower back, you're helping the psoas relax and lengthen. And again, the arms can be overhead for this. If it feels good, you can even rest your hands under your head. But just take a couple of those breaths, still pushing down with the toes and the pubic bone to create that space. Armpits can press down and back towards your hips, and that will help you get that pubic bone press, and the front ribs will hug together so you can really get into that part of the back rib cage where your kidneys live, the psoas and the kidneys connected, and they're connected to the heart and the diaphragm. So moving the diaphragm with your breath is helping to massage the psoas and the kidneys and even the heart. And if emotion comes, just let it flow. This is a safe space to just release. You might feel your psoas vibrating. Beautiful. So now we'll bring the hands under the rib cage. Stay on the tops of the feet if you can. Keep the elbows close in. Pull the shoulders down towards your hips. Press the pubic bone into the floor. Then activate your quads by lifting your kneecaps off the floor and come up onto the tops of the feet. Press into the mat so your chest pushes away from the floor. You should feel your chest working. Sit bones press down and under, and then gently look forward by bringing your throat towards the top of the mat. Then lift the chin, relax your face. And you can take it to downward facing dog. And just letting the head release. Walk your hands back towards your feet. You can hold your elbows for a moment. And heel toe the feet together. Bend the knees, drop the sit bones. And we'll come to chair. And then coming to standing, bringing the palms together. Then feel the sit bones drop down and under. And we'll bend the knees. So we're kind of halfway towards chair. Keep dropping the sit bones down. Shifting your weight to your right leg. We'll take the left ankle across that thigh. So we're here, and let the knee drop open. Hips drop down and under. Feel free to stay right here. Just working to open this outer hip. You want to take it into a forward bend, feel free. And drop the sit bones. Feel your weight shift towards the standing toes, so you're strong in your knee. And then we'll come up, taking the left knee up, lean into it, give it a hug. Then we'll take the left big toe down to the floor behind the right foot, bend the right knee. So from the side, it looks like this. And take the right arm, press the palm up towards the ceiling. Feel the right ribs open, like you're trying to touch something on the ceiling. And then the left palm, opposite direction. Pull that shoulder down, pressing that palm towards the left foot. Feel your weight shift to your right foot. Bring the left foot close to the hip. Then take the foot with the hand, pulling the foot into the hip. The foot resists. Drop the sit bones down. Keep lengthening and stretching through the right side of the body. Breathe here. And releasing that foot. We'll bring the big toes together. Sit bones drop down and under as you bend the knees. Palms can be together. Shifting your weight to your left foot. Right ankle comes across left knee. And drop down. Sit bones dropping down as you sink. You can take the forward bend if you like. Try to keep the right foot close to the left thigh. So you're not looking down and seeing a 4, but more of a triangle shape. Then drop the sit bones as you exhale. Drop the shoulders down towards the hips. So your core is nice and active as you lift the knee towards the chest. Just give yourself a hug. And releasing right big toe behind. Bend the left knee. Reach left arm up, palm facing the ceiling. Left ribs open. Reach down with the right palm, pulling that shoulder down. And then bending the right knee, taking the foot close to the hip, taking hold of that foot with the hand. As you pull the foot in, resist with the foot. Sit bones drop down. Keep opening the left side body. Just looking down for balance. Breathe into the heart, or from the belly to the heart, I should say. Rather than splaying the ribs open, you feel your ribs opening in all directions. And releasing. So for this next pose, feel free to use a wall. Just so you can see me from a side angle, I'm going to use a chair. And if you don't have any wall space, you could use a chair, you could use the back of a couch, anything that has a surface for you to kind of lean into as we work with this. All right, so you can stand a bit away from the wall, bend the knees, take a forward bend, then walk the hands close to your chair or the wall that you're working with, and walk the feet in until you feel your back or your shoulders against what you're leaning against. Bend the knees. So you shouldn't feel stressed. You shouldn't feel like the wall's pressuring your head towards your legs. If you're feeling that, just back up a bit. And if you can't bring your hands to the floor, use blocks to support you. You could also just hold your elbows if you feel secure with what you're leaning against. So I wouldn't necessarily do that with this chair, but you could do that with a wall for sure. And now backing the feet up just a bit and bring them closer together. Bring your hands under your shoulders or to the blocks under your shoulders. Tuck the chin towards your throat. Drop the sit bones down, bend the knees. And shifting your weight to one leg, lift the other leg as high as you can, and just lean into the wall. I'm going to hold on to this chair so I can lean into it a little bit. And that will help you lift that leg because you don't feel like you're about to fall. Feel the support of the wall. Now see if you can roll that top thigh down just a little bit. Spread the toes. Take your time bringing that foot down. Bend the knees so you're nice and safe in your hamstrings. And again, leaning against your support, shifting to the other leg. Leg comes up. And just let yourself lean into the wall or your couch. Spread the toes, roll the thigh in. Just feel your balance even on your right foot. And gently coming down. Bend the knees. And we'll come to downward facing dog. You can also work in dolphin if that's in your practice. Just gonna put my chair aside. Okay, so if you'd like, you can come to the knees, bring the elbows down, forearms parallel to each other, come into a dolphin shape. This is another place you can play with lifting a leg here. Just go easy. If you need to turn your hands towards each other, feel free to do that. As best you can, you want to feel as if you're trying to bring your elbows together. So your chest muscles are supporting your shoulders. So if you're like me, you have some imbalances in your shoulders, you may not be able to actively engage the chest on one side. So turning the hands in a little bit can help with that. Feel the heels sink, look at the navel, feel the armpits push back towards your hips. And then balance on one leg, lifting, if you choose. No pressure to do that. You want to be able to breathe. And if you're struggling with your breath, it's not worth it. And slowly coming down to the knees and onto the hands. So here's where you can bring your blocks close by. So we'll bring the blocks. Again, this is more of an art than a science, depending on arm length and things like that. Either by your ankles or closer towards your knees, but close to the body. And the knees can be hip distance apart. If you're tight in your psoas, what we're working on, then you can take the knees apart just a little bit. But just like when you're in dolphin and you're trying to bring your elbows together, you want to feel that same action in the knees, like you're trying to squeeze your knees together. Bring the palms together at the heart. Tuck the chin towards the heart. Ribs hug together. Sit bones tuck under and forward. And then breathe into the belly, into the lower back, ribs, all the way to the collarbones. Exhale, hug inner thighs together. Tuck the sit bones under. Then breathe in. Feel that breath opening the front body, but you're still pushing the sit bones forward. Notice if your ribs are trying to collapse onto your hips. You want to resist that by pushing the sit bones under and forward. Ribs hug together. If the fingertips easily come to the blocks, great. Just work there, hugging the knees towards each other, tucking the sit bones under, breathing into the belly. And that belly breath expands the front body. You don't have to puff your ribs open. Let the breath move into the heart. And if you're wanting to bring the head back, try to bring the throat forward, then lift the chin. Relax the face. You can look up at your third eye, but relax the eyebrows. You might find you can lean on your blocks or even bring your hands to your heels. Breathe here. Hug the knees towards each other. If you're pretty secure with your blocks and your legs are right up against them, you can push your legs against your blocks. And then breathe into the front body. Let your heart open by expanding the belly. And tuck the chin, drop the hips back, and just take a moment sitting back on your heels. You can be on the tops of your feet or have the toes curled under. And just kind of let your spine unwind. And now we'll use our blocks. So we'll bring the blocks just in front of the knees. Come onto the knees and step 1 foot forward. Then start to walk your blocks to where you feel like, oh yeah, I'm pretty secure right here. If you're on your tippy fingers, that's fine. If you can get your palms down, even better. So we're going to work here with the sit bones first. So just notice where your sit bones are pointing. The left sit bone, since I have my left foot forward, I'm going to bring that sit bone down and forward, pointing it towards the left heel. Then the right sit bone, I'm going to draw it slightly back to point towards the right heel. And then I just feel myself shift forward a little bit, but I'm lifting the heart by pressing into my hands or my fingertips. And just check in with the sit bones again. Notice where they're pointing. Okay, and if you're starting to stress in your breath, maybe back the hips up a little bit. Feel free to stay right there. Just breathe into the front body, opening the heart. If you're feeling a little more open, you can either start to scoot the right foot back or the left foot forward, whatever you have room for. And you'll feel yourself want to just collapse. Instead of doing that, just notice where the sit bones are. Aim that left sit bone towards the left heel. You can even push into that foot a little bit. And then right sit bone towards right heel. So you're working to open the body instead of just come into a splits. So breathe into the front body. Feel the ribs hug together as you exhale. And then see if you want to take it a little deeper. And with each little step, checking in with the sit bones. Where are they pointing? Notice tension starting to come in around the heart or into the lower back. That's psoas trying so hard to resist what's been not wanting to feel. Just use that sound, that if you're feeling that. This pose is Hanuman. Hanuman, the monkey god, out of devotion to Sita and Ram, was able to find his own divinity, his own superpowers in order to serve Ram and Sita. This is the shape that he took as he leapt across this great lake to save Sita. When you're ready to come out of it, tuck the chin. Feel the sit bones tuck down to pull that front foot in, push into your palms, and just take a moment on your knees. You can even bring your hands down, tuck the sit bones under, press the armpits toward your hips. And then we'll take the other side. So right foot comes forward, walking the blocks to where you feel comfortable, and you can be as upright as possible. Fingertips is fine on the block. And then feeling your sit bones. So now right sit bone is pointing towards right heel, dropping down and under. So I'm finding I have to roll my right thigh out a little bit to find that. Then left sit bone pointing towards left heel. Just breathing there as you sink forward just a little bit. Keep aligning the sit bones with the heels of their respective foot. And you can start to lengthen the stance. Maybe turning the blocks a little lower, especially if your shoulders are starting to jam up. Push down into the hands to keep the armpits pressing down, and that will keep you in your core. And then check in where the sit bones are. Breathe. Using that Ram mantra, Ram, or just lion's breath. sticking out the tongue. Breathe into the belly and up to the heart. Allow any intensity to be of service, to bring in compassion. Passion being suffering that we all feel, compassion being I feel your pain. Push the armpits down, breathe in, and tuck the chin. Push into the hands to draw the front leg in. And come to the knees. Or you can come into plank, either one. Sit bones tucking under, shoulders just in front of the fingers. And then take it gently to down dog or dolphin if you'd like. Dolphin can help you release. So if there's still emotional residue that might need to be released from your psoas, you can just be here in dolphin and see if it will vibrate out. Gently coming to the knees, and we'll come to a seat. So we'll extend the legs out in front. And turn this way. Let the knees be soft, the feet relaxed, sit bones connecting to the earth. And feel your chin tuck in towards your throat. Relax your belly onto your thighs, then the chest. Rather than thinking nose to knee, think forehead. So you're opening the back of the neck. Hands can come to the heels or come underneath the calves. And just breathe there, letting yourself relax into it, feeling your heart opening in the back body, creating that spaciousness around your kidneys once again, giving the psoas space there for the psoas to relax and lengthen. And then if you feel your hamstrings relax, you can start to straighten the legs a little bit. Feel the sit bones connect to your mat. Breathe in, pull the shoulders back. And then releasing the hands. We'll walk the hands back, fingers facing the feet, and hands at least shoulder distance wide, maybe a little wider. If you feel open for it, you can keep the legs together and point the toes, or you can bend the knees and have them hip distance apart. You want to push the shoulders towards the feet, bring the chin down towards the throat, roll the thighs in towards each other and down towards the mat. Firm up the glutes just a little bit. And as you push the shoulders forward, lift the pubic bone and shift your weight towards your feet. Okay, if you're in this straight leg position, make sure you're not relaxing the legs. You're trying to bring your big toes to the floor. Push the shoulders forward, lift the throat, then tilt the chin. Breathe here. If you're collapsing the head back, try to lift your throat a little bit so your head's not collapsed on your shoulders. Hug the inner thighs in towards each other and relax down. And then we'll take the legs apart, the knees soft, hands in front of the hips, and just pulling yourself tall. So if you find you're more in this kind of position, try bending the knees a little more, bring the hands behind you so you can feel the front body lengthen. And if you're able to bring your hands forward and walk them forward, you can work with that too. So feeling the sit bones tucking down and under might help to roll the thighs open. And then dropping the chin towards your throat as you start to come forward. Whew. Popping joints. And breathing in, press the palms back towards your body, lifting the heart. You can shimmy the legs together and ease your way down onto your back. I invite you to take a block on your way. And we'll bring the feet hip distance apart, parallel to each other, arms next to the hips. Breathe into the belly, up into the heart. Then exhale, press the back of the head into the floor. Let the lower back press down. And start to peel your spine off the ground. Then you can take your block or stack of books, whatever you have available, and place it under your sacrum. So the sacrum is what we call the small of your back or the flat part of your back. And you can feel into just taking this low level and relaxing into it. If you want to go higher, you can come onto the tiptoes and bring the block high side under the sacrum. You want to make sure that you're able to have your feet parallel here and it's not stressing your neck. It's a little bit high for me, so I'll go here. So wherever you are, just feel your sacrum relax across the block. Feel some breath moving into that bottom part of the rib cage, creating a little space between the bottom of the ribs and the block. So you're lengthening your psoas there. And at the same time, feel the breath open your belly and open your chest. So you feel a little lift in the center of your chest toward your chin. Press the heels into the floor, and then as if you're trying to push them apart. Just a couple more breaths. Just noticing any tender spots or any areas where you're collapsing on your heart or gripping in your hip or your jaw. Just be present to what you're feeling there. And take your time, press into your feet to lift the hips and take the block out. Take your time coming down. And bring the knees over the hips, hands onto the knees or the shins. Tuck the chin, press the head back into the floor. Push your knees against your hands. Feel your lower back flattening onto the floor. Knees to chest, just take an easy twist to one side, arms level with the shoulders. And exhale to come to the other side. Easing yourself onto your back. Letting the legs lengthen out. Natural turnout come into your thighs. And the hands come about 30 degrees from the hips. Snuggling the shoulder blades under you. Just letting go. Closing your eyes. And as you're resting here, just be present to what you're feeling. And let your breath wash your entire belly into your rib cage, filling your chest. So you feel your chest opening, your ribs widening, all the way to the collarbones. Just a gentle letting go of the breath. recognizing that all you're feeling is being felt in the heart. The heart understands the pain of the body. The heart often responds to pain and suffering, not only for others, but for ourselves. When we can take the time to be present to what we're feeling, then it allows the heart to let it go, to let it flow out. Breath by breath, freeing your heart. Welcome to continue to rest here in Shavasana as long as you like. When you are ready to come up, just extend the fingers and the toes, inviting some gentle movement to come back. Feeling free to take a stretch. Maybe roll the head around, roll to your side. You take as long as you like there before you come up to a seat, letting your hands keep your neck relaxed. And we'll finish our practice with a round of Om, if you care to join me. I'll just bring the palms together at the heart, feeling the belly relax as you receive your breath in. Om. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.